a death cult. In fact, according to two eminent scientists, one from Princeton and one from MIT, billions of people around the world face starvation. Billions around the world face starvation if net zero policies, including the ban on the production of nitrogen fertilizer derived from fossil fuels, happens. This is the stark warning from two top American scientists who say that eliminating fossil fuel-derived nitrogen fertilizers and pesticides will result in about half the world's population not having enough food to eat. And they add that eliminating net zero fertilizer will create worldwide starvation. That's why we call it a death cult. Tony Heller is the founder of realclimatescience.com, and he joins us now. Hey, Tony, how are you?
I'm good, Richard. How are you?
Very well, very well. So the professors in question, emeritus professors William Happer of Princeton and Richard Lindzen of MIT. Are you familiar with their work?
Yeah, I know both of them very well.
Ah, okay. So what do you think of their dire warning? And I know you agree, but let's just unpack their warning a little bit.
Well, there's nothing mysterious about what they're saying. It's absolutely true. Our agricultural system and food distribution system is based on fossil fuels. I have an 1895 edition of Encyclopedia Britannica, and it talks about how slavery was ubiquitous in agricultural societies. Because that was the only way they could create enough food. And then when we developed, fossil fuel-based agriculture system with tractors and trucks to distribute the food, that not only eliminated slavery, but it made it possible to feed huge numbers of people. And there's been huge increases in agricultural productivity over the last 50 or 60 years, like by a factor of 10, which was close to 10, which is due to a couple of things. One was increased levels of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, which makes plants grow faster. But probably the bigger contribution was fertilizers, artificial fertilizers. And like the Dutch government's trying to get rid of these nitrogen-based fertilizers, and climate alarmists around the world are trying to get rid of fossil fuel-based agriculture, which there's no question it would lead to mass starvation and the destruction of our civilization. So that this isn't even controversial by anyone who actually looks at the science.
Right. And we would probably be in agreement that this maybe is by design. That's their intent, is depopulation, right? They would gladly sit by idly and watch the world's population, decimated.
Yeah, that's what they've been saying for decades, is they want to greatly reduce the world's population. Of course, they can't advertise it like that because that would be genocide and make them the bad guy. So instead, what they do is they just created this whole climate scam, tried to make people believe that they're doing this to save lives rather than to destroy them. But there's no science behind what these people are saying. There is no climate emergency. Carbon dioxide is not bad for the climate. It's not bad for people. They've created this big lie as a front to cover up for the genocide, which they seem to be intending on doing.
There are some academics, if you will, that are in favor, of course, of this net zero suicide pill, and they're suggesting a return to World War II rationing as an effective way to reduce carbon emissions. And that's basically it. A World War II rationing. This would be for food and gas and everything else.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Climate alarmists. So it's the same sort of thing we've always seen in society. There's always a class of privileged people who get to live well, and then there's the 90% who live very poorly. You saw this in Europe with the royalty. That's how communism operated in the Soviet Union. The people at the top always think they're going to be safe from the edicts which they're forcing on everybody else.
Well, I think this message that this is a suicide mission, net zero, is finally starting to catch on. I noted that back in March, the Bank of England is demoting its net zero agenda and cutting spending on climate change. That's a very good sign, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope that we're raising some awareness of people that they're being lied to about the whole climate thing, and that they're into something is the exact opposite of what they claim it is.
Tony Hiller, founder of realclimatescience.com. Check out his stories, his videos, realclimatescience.com. You can also find them on Rumble and YouTube. Tony, thanks so much.
Thank you, Richard.